We are live, Dr. Naglata.
Good afternoon, one and all. Thanks for joining again an afternoon session, the second international conference on research outlook, innovations, and research trend 2022. We are in day one session, and session two is going on now. Greeting brings the positive acknowledgement. To share the positivity, we have Professor Dr. Z. Ziliha Simaglu, Nekde Omar, Alizdemir University, Turkey. Madam earned her PhD in biology from Inno University. She has published over 180 peer-reviewed journals articles with over 3,120 citations and many technical reports. She is the member of Society for Experimental Biology and Medicine's Associate Membership and European Association for Cancer Research. She has served as an editorial board member for many journals. Her area of research is medical biology, molecular biology, biochemistry, biotechnology, and antitoxin cancer. So, with this short note, I invite Dr. Ziliha Simaglu to take up the session. Madam, please.
Thank you so much, Madam. Greetings from Turkey. Actually, I am so happy to be with you these days. As you know, this is very great event and very big program in India. So again, welcome to this session. So, dear and esteemed colleagues and distinguished participants and speakers, welcome to this opening session of this very great conference in India. Actually, it is our great pleasure to welcome and thank you to participate and to be part of second international conference on research, outlook, innovations, and research trends 2022, which be held on January 22 and 23, 2022 in India as webinar. The aim objective of second international conference on research outlook, innovations and research trends 2022 is to bring together leading academicians, researchers, scholars, as well as industrial professionals from all over the world to an exchange and share their experiences and research results about all aspects of science, such as engineering and managers by science, technicians, and other professionals in the field of qualitative research, and also discuss the practical challenges encountered and the solution adopted. So, second international conference on research outlook, innovations, and research trends 2022 provides opportunities for the delegates to exchange new ideas and application experiences to establish business or research relations and to find global partners for future collaboration. It is anticipated that a broad range of research and applied topics will be covered during the conference. We thank academicians, experts, and professionals from all science and technology fields to join this stimulating and exciting conference. This conference is focused predominantly on academicians, research scholars linked to science and engineering, managers, science, technicians, and other professionals in the field of qualitative research. This meeting is comprehended from different sources of research in science and technology. We hope to meet the needs of academicians, research scholars who are being encouraged to incorporate meeting in the field of science and technology. I would like to thank all contributors who have made it great event of this meeting so fascinating and enjoyable. You know, the second International Conference on Research Outlook, Innovations and Research Trends 2022 is an initiative by 5 international and national universities, institutes, and departments in collaboration that will offer you an unforgettable experience in exploring new opportunities. I would also like to thank organizing committee members, all reviewers, and all authors for their help in consolidating the interdisciplinary of conference. And also, I would like to very special thanks to Priyanka Gupta, managing editor of our journal, International Journal of Advanced Study and Research Work. And also, she is a conference manager of the second International Conference on Research Outlook, Innovations and Research Trends 2022. Really, I would like to many thanks to very special thanks to Priyanka Gupta about her very great effort for this program. Actually, you know, I am chief editor of the International Journal of Advanced Study. So, Advanced Study and Research Work. So, we organized this conference with our journal, that is International Journal of Advanced Study and Research Work. You know, it is an international peer-reviewed monthly online and open access journal, published quality research papers in all arenas by Alborer, India. Actually, the multidisciplinary approach helps to broaden the mind space to create new ideas. So we always welcome new ideas, creative and logical talks, and imagination in form of research paper. We started, it is 5 years with this 2020 year. So we hope we will continue with success forever. Actually, you remember we organized first time this conference in 2020 with big success and big efforts by really very huge team. So especially we couldn't forget someone who was Dr. Prasant Chaudhary in our team. You know, he is unforgettable person in our journal and conference team. As you know, we lost him last year, unfortunately, in 2021. Actually, we organized first conference with him too, and with his efforts. Unfortunately, we organized this conference without him now. So finally, I would like to dedicate the opening of this very important and valuable conference to his spirit, and I would like to dedicate it to his spirit. You know, we lost him last year about COVID-19 COVID-19. As you know, these days COVID-19 pandemic continues still. So in this condition, in this bad situation, we organize again very important event again with our committee and with our team efforts. So anyway, I would like to thanks all organizing member about their big efforts, and also I would like to many thanks to all participants and speakers and all institutes so many thanks to join to our conference. Thank you again. I hope you will have enjoyed time and very creative and very productive time with your efforts and with your participants. I hope you will have you will have save time and enjoy time. So anyway, I would like to welcome to again to this conference. Have a nice time. Have a nice conference with your participant. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am. Giving a warm welcome and your emotional connectivity towards this conference really make a sense. Thank you for your warm greeting, madam. We have eminent speakers as chairpersons for the session. First, I would like to introduce the chairperson, Dr. Alim Nazar, the Vice Rector, Tashkent Institute of Finance, Uzbekistan. Dr. Alim Nazar started his career as a senior specialist in international relations office and Tarmes State University. He climbed the ladder of progress with his hardship. Currently, he holds the position of Vice Rector, Tashkent Institute of Finance. His learning derived him to share his many skillful thoughts by organizing certificate courses and conducting many conferences, international seminars, and he is actively taking part in many editorial boards. To name a few, he is an editor-in-chief of Indian Journal of Economic and Finance. He is a member of editorial board in Academic of Marketing Studies journals. He is a member of editorial board of International Journal of Arts and Humanity, Literature and Science, a member of editorial advice board, International Journal of Innovation and Economic Development. He presented and published many research articles, international peer-reviewed journals, and authored books too. His area of research is only fixed on the financial base. He improves of mechanism for resulting based medium term financing planning of the state budget as an important factor in improving the efficiency and effectiveness of budget control of Republic Uzbekistan. With a short note, I invite Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nagalata. Good afternoon, all of you. Greetings from Uzbekistan. I will congratulate all of you with New Year because of this is our new the first meeting on the New Year 2022. So I will congratulate all of you with New Year as well. Today also a holiday for us because of today all of us because today is the conference which is organizing by our honorable journal Research Outlook Innovations and Research Trends 2022. One more thing I would like to remember about Mr. Chowdhury. He was very kind man I have ever contacted. Also, I will call all of you to be very active with questions and commentaries about today's conference's theme. Please save you and your family. Be careful. And good luck, all of the participants of our conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Giving a very short note. Thank you for this. And we have a chief guest with our midst, Professor Dr. Jasdeep Gaur Dami, Director Research and Planning, City Group of Institutions. Sir has completed Dami has completed his doctorate in business studies from Punjab University. She is currently working as a professor and director, City Group of Institutions, North Campus, Punjab. She has 20 years of academic and research experience. She has published more than 100 papers in various international conferences and referred journals. Moreover, she is currently supervising 8 doctorate students from management, 6 PhD, and 7 MPhil scholars were awarded under her guidance. Her main area of research is international trade, environmental economics. She has been the member of various international editorial board. She acted as a convener for various national and international conferences. She has attended various refresher short-term courses on research methodology, SPSS, curriculum development, environmental science, and time series analysis. With a short note, I welcome you, ma'am. The floor is open for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. I just congratulate, first of all the team members for the successfully conduct of second international conference on research outlook, innovation, and research trends. I I owe this to Miss Priyanka also. She's very hardworking and she devoted, I think, a full the time with the family and she completely balanced her life with all the activities. So I also want to thank all the keynote speakers and the participants from all over the India, from the India and from the international countries also. So this is I think, a very good platform, and in which we can share our experiences. And this is a multidisciplinary kind of conference, and nowadays everybody of us aware about that fact that now the era is totally changed due to the pandemic. After the occurrence of the pandemic, there are different kind of necessities that arrived, and we already said that there are certain disadvantages, and but on the other hand, we have certain advantages. Like we have never thought of the virtual conferences like we are doing. This is also, we can say, a blessing in disguise. So I'm not taking much of the time. I just want to say best of luck and best wishes, and to all the research scholars who presented their papers or who are going to present their papers. And thanks for all the keynote speakers and the chief guest for this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have an expert. Thank you, ma'am, giving a brief short note of this conference. It's really means so much for us to connect it in this platform. Thank you, ma'am, once again. We have expert thought. Here we have Dr. Ekelida Lu. We have Dr. Enkelida Lulaj. She is the Finance and Accounting Faculty of Management in Tourism, Hospitality and Environment, University of Zika, a state of Kosovo. Here, she's going to address about the students' experience during online learning. Before inviting Madam, I would like to give a short introduction about her. Madam have reached the doctorate in science in finance and accounting, working as a professor assistant in Faculty of Management in Tourism, Hospitality, Environment, University of Zika, the state of Kosovo. She is an ambassador for financial evaluation, the ambassador for women tech, as well as the ambassador for research and innovation. She is the country director of International Young Society, country director of a World Voice International. She is a member of editorial board of many magazines in different countries of the world, such as USA, Belgium, Germany, Denmark, Ukraine, India, and Georgia. She has a great experience in international conferences as a supervisor, as a member of scientific committee, as a member of editorial board, as a session chair in universities, institutions, and various countries of the world. She is a reviewer in prestigious journal on Scopus and Web of Science such as United Kingdom and Switzerland. She also has an excellent experience in visiting the professor to lecture on economic, finance, accounting, education, teaching, research, and many other topics relevant to the economic development, financial stability, and quality enhancement in higher education in many universities, institutes, NGOs, symposium summits around the world. She has completed many training and programs in the field of economic, finance, accounting, research, and so on. She is a winner of many awards in the world, such as Teaching, Science, Creative Idea, and a Successful Woman, Peace, etc. In Kosovo, she has an excellent experience in many functions with this university as a member of University Board, Senate, Coordinator for Academic Development and Quality Assurance, members of Commission of International and member of many other committees with the faculty of university. She has been distinguished student in Kosovo and now has a member of acknowledgement for the students in the distinguished professor. She is ready for collaborative the teamwork, and thank you ma'am for being with us. Such a wider profile that you have. In the short note, I would like to quote only the few. It has happened for me to quote only the few. Thank you for joining us. The floor is for you.
Thank you so much. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Your voice is audible.
Because I don't know how to work with this platform, is the first time for me. And thank you so much. I'm very honored and grateful to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So I am Enkeleda Lulay from State of the Kosovo. I work at the University Hajizeka Faculty of Management in Tourism, Hospitality and Environment. I am professor for finance and accounting. Please, can you see my screen? Okay, that's perfect. Now, just a moment, please. It's okay. So today I will talk about student experiences during online learning, technology, finances, and innovation. In this slide, I will make a relationship between my experiences with students and my scientific paper in the Kosovo's universities during COVID-19, accepted by the Web of Science. I invite you to listen carefully because you will learn a lot. At the end, you will see the recommendation about during online learning and financial stress that will help the students, the universities as well. In this slide, you will see general information about students' performance, a new point of view, learn a special skill that change basic attitude. Now, what next? Does financial stress affect students' performance during online learning? Yes or no? You will see in the next slide. Financial stress to students during online learning, pandemic times, COVID-19. Now, in this slide, you will see the primary goal and case study and the theory. So about the financial stress, online learning, teaching, technology, innovation, we have so many theories. So the importance about online learning is the strategy, good strategy. Case study, as I told before, you will see more about my experiences with students in my university and in my state as well. Now, this is perfect. Introduction. Online learning is a learning process which takes place through the internet as one of the form of distance learning. This way of learning is being used in every country of the world as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, due this circumstances caused by the pandemic, teaching and learning online has an important role for students, for professors, for universities, etc. Technology seems to be the one element connected teachers or professors and students in the crisis. Technology bridges the gap between quarantine and teaching as well. So, challenges of using technology in learning, a lot of distraction for students, for professors being free all the time. Not all students have access to digital tools. So, what about financial technology? Financial technology is the technology and innovation that aims to compete with traditional financial methods in the delivery of financial services. In this slide, you will see education, financial situation, e-learning. What is education? Education brings a natural change in an individual's reasoning and ability to achieve the target goal. It facilitates us to investigate our own consideration and thoughts and make it ready to express it in various shapes. So education also means helping people to learn how to do things and encouraging them to think about what they learn. Education is one of the main components that brings growth and progress in a society. The more people in a society are educated, the more they can make a beneficial contribution to their environment. We as a society all over the world are in era of lifelong learning, so we must be committed to the maximum to raise the quality of education. Since professors or teachers and students are unique in nature, it is essential to find ways to communicate with each other, each students as well individually. So, in this case, increased collaboration between teachers or professors and students affect the harmony between teaching and learning. The main attributes that affect the growth of cooperation are example, respect or satisfaction for work and learning, continuous reflection and improvement. What about the financial situation? So in this slide also you will see some quotes about financial situation. Don't tell me where your priorities are. Show me where you spend your money, and I will tell you what they are. Or poor spending habits lead to poverty. If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things that you need, says from Buffett. In this slide, you will see ADA model. Please keep in mind, is very, very important for institution, for universities, as an innovation, especially in difficult time with coronavirus or COVID-19. So in this ADA model are included two steps, step number one and step number two. And in the step number one, we has three factors: analysis, design, development. And step number two has two factors, 4 and 5, implementation and education. Analyze, please keep in mind, is very, very important. Analyze your situation to understand the gaps you need to fill, or design. What about design? What is important, these factors? Based on your analysis, make informed decision to design the best possible learning experiences or development. Bring your learning experiences to life by building your end product. What about implementation? Is important this factor or no? So implementation is very, very important for your faculty as an innovation through technology. Distribute your learning and product to your audience. Who is your audience? Education, evaluate if your learning and product is effective, make any necessary updates, and cycle back to the analysis phase. So the ADIA model is very important for success during this time with the coronavirus. Now, technology, learning, e-learning, and innovation. In this slide, you will see the relationship between financial stress, has a relationship with money. Money has a relationship with households. Households has a relationship with coronavirus pandemic on the global economy world. What about this financial stress? So financial stress is emotional tension that is specifically related to the money. Anyone can experience this financial stress, but financial stress may occur more often in households with low incomes. And money. So yearly estimated predicted that should the virus become a global pandemic, most major economies will lose at least 2.9% of their gross domestic product or GDP over 2020. The household sector has the power to influence the overall economy in part because of its size and its significant exposure to financial sector. It also plays an important role in monetary and financial stability for countries, as the behavior of households with respect to resources allocation, including their saving and spending decision, affects market prices. Now, in this slide, you will see e-learning project and experiences, technology and finances as an innovation. So the focus of much e-learning activity is upon the development of courses and their resources. So successful e-learning takes place with a complex system involving the students' experiences of learning, teachers' strategy, teachers' planning and thinking, and the teaching and learning content. Staff development for e-learning focuses around the level of technological delivery strategies, when other issues such as the teachers or professors' conception of learning has a major influence on the planning of courses, developing of teaching strategy, and what students learn. While e-learning offers promising opportunities, many institutions many faculties, many leaders are challenged with how to initiate a strategy that gets results and is sustainable. The complexity involved with creating a successful strategy can be overwhelming, and there are relatively few practical resources to help you. The number one is set your goals and how you will measure progress. So it's very important. Please keep in mind one of the major consideration that arise when creating your strategy for e-learning is how all the pieces work together to support your organization or your university goals and the goals of the learner. To achieve this, your strategy, please keep in mind, your strategy should create a unified learning environment that is connected and optimized for your organization. Set your goals and how you will measure progress. Your first step is creating an e-learning strategy is to make goals so you and your team know what you are working towards. This means looking at why you are adopting e-learning and what you hope to accomplish by doing so. From there, you can identify clear goals and learning objectives that follow the reason for using e-learning and inform every future decision during the process. You should also establish a means for measuring your progress. What evidence is required for you to know that you are moving towards meeting your goals? What signs or accomplishments will signify that you are moving forward? Know your or define your audience. So you have probably heard the term know your audience or define your audience. It applies to many situations, including your strategy for e-learning. Many decisions made while you are planning and implementing e-learning courses will depend on who they are for. It will be easier for you to make this decision when you have a clear definition of who your e-learning efforts are meant to benefit in the end and what their needs are. Design or your content. What about this step? The needs of your audience will largely decide your content. What do they need to learn? Or what is the best way to teach the courses material? Or what is the best web-based environment for them to learn in? Or what learning technologies will best meet their learning needs? What support can we provide them? Will social learning add to the experiences? It's very important. Content can be delivered via example videos with interactive graphics or design that keeps the learner motivated. So it's very important about for successful as an innovation through technology during this time with pandemic. So set up your data and infrastructure. The how of setting up your data and infrastructure may be daunting at first, but that is where a great learning management system comes into play. Your new teaching and learning environment, or LMS, will be an e-learning environment for members and analytical tools for you. It will provide the platform where you build and house your online courses and materials as an innovation, and where students will access them. So fine-tuning your strategy in the end as e-learning project and experiences with the basic out of the way, it's time to look at the smaller details of your strategy and make decision on how your e-learning courses should work for your students. Now is when you are in the nitty-gritty of what will make your online courses successful. Please keep in mind, everything you lead out in the first 4 steps to give yourself guidance. Most importantly, always remember the initial goals you set for e-learning. So what about this step in this slide? Sorry. So in this slide, you will see a relationship about online learning has a relationship with performance to students, financial stress to households, and households with COVID-19 with universities as well. And this is my experience with students and during online learning. So as well, in this slide are included 3 variables: financial impact on the new teaching and learning environment, or MMN, financial impact and problems related to lack of dedication, learning, or PMPM, stresses from COVID-19 related to financial and learning factors, or SCS. For results about these factors, you will learn more about in the next slide. In this slide, you can see the 3 factors, as I told before: PMPM, SES, and MMN. The factor number 1, MMN, has 6 sub-factors. Example: difficult concentration during online, or easy or adaptation during online learning, etc. Or about the variables PMPM, these variables has 7 sub-factors. Example: isolation problem from COVID-19, or study problems, or problems with employment related to education, or problems with personal finances, or problems with career due to funding reasons, etc. And SES variables has 5 sub-factors or sub-factors. So example for SES as a sub-factor: financial stress for payments, or delay in graduation, or delays in assignments, research and exams, or social isolation, or jobs and careers. What next? So in the slide, you will see the results about the variables number 1, or students' experiences during online learning and technology, finance, and innovation. This is my research. As it was emphasized in the introduction, the purpose and the main objectives of this presentation of this topic is the correlation between the factors financial stress, innovation, technology, and e-learning and teaching to students in universities to Kosovo during the online learning. Do these factors correlate with each other, and do they affect students' performance? Based on these issues, the findings from econometric model will provide recommendation for universities in the state of Kosovo and the universities around the world. For this study, for this topic, data was collected from higher education institutions, more specifically in Kosovo public universities. So the survey was completed with the master, bachelor, and PhD students. Financial impact on the new teaching and learning environment. What about this variable? So the financial impact for students and their families for the reason of COVID-19 in the new teaching and learning environment, in order to meet the condition to continue online learning, have been increased. In this case, higher education is also facing various challenges in the process of transforming the new teaching and learning environment. In this table, you will see the results about the 6 sub-factors. So the correlation in the highest percentage of 19% has the variables MMN number 1 with the variables MMN number 3, with which means that if students do not have concentration while online learning, their performance will decrease. Now, financial impact and problems related to lack of dedication to learning, or PMPM. So during using the online platform, there are some elements which can be considered barriers to MMN, or new teaching and learning environment, for students, such as delayed response by students, professors are not always available to respond in students' time, motivation diminished by students, or feeling of isolation due to lack of presence of classmates, a poor network, or outdated computer that can slow down the use of lecture materials. So these problems can be overcome with the help of professors or by teachers, or teachers who adapt their new teaching and learning environment, or MMN strategy, to the needs of students. Therefore, to achieve this, professors or teachers should have knowledge and experiences in new teaching and learning environment, or MMN. Based on the results about these tables, the correlation in the highest percentage of 80% has the variables PM number 3 with the variables PM number 4, which means that if students have problems with personal finances and stress, their performance will decrease, or vice versa, because indirectly the stress and funding factors affect the students' performance. What next? So in this slide also you will see the results about the variables number 3, stresses from COVID-19 related to financial and learning factors. Research about education, innovation, and technology. So tuition fees are quite difficult to pay by students in good times, let alone on difficult days. So in this case of a pandemic, distance save lives, but there is economic pain because many businesses are going bankrupt bankrupt and laying off workers, employed students and their families who pay for them. And this has challenged and aggravated both financial and educational factors. Even for those who can pay the bills, their gloomy job prospect after graduation create anxiety, while many students carry large students loan debts, but it is essential to state that not all students have the necessary condition for online learning through technology. So students are living very, very different educational experiences during the pandemic. Based on the results about the variables number 3 or SES, the correlation or the SES number 5 variables has a positive relationship or correlation with the variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the higher correlation has with the SES number 1 variables in the value for 86%. Student stress for payment is related to work and career. Therefore, all variables 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emphasize that stress affects both factors, learning and teaching. Now, what next? So in this slide, you will see as general recommendation of this topic for the state, for the universities, for students, for families or their families, to the factors financial stress and online teaching and learning factors during COVID-19 are presented as follows. So the number 1 is a recommendation for universities. There should be, and for students as well, there should be concentration during online learning. Condition must be created for MMN or new teaching and learning environment, or there should be good communication. Example, good communication with professors, with administrative staff, with colleagues, with friends, as well with families, with their families. Stress factors should be removed to increase their performance. There must be financial condition. There should be information from professors on how exams and tests will be conducted. And in the end, as a recommendation, there should be a study commitment for students by professors. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure for me. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your pension. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for giving a brief thought of your presentation towards the online, which is connected to the pandemic period. Really, it makes the sense the how the difficulties and the understanding of the students in learning makes a different thought. We have a question session. If any participants would like to drop a question, you can drop it in the chat box. I guess we don't have any questions since, Madam, thank you for giving a wonderful session of this afternoon moment. Next.
Thank you. It's very, very pleasure for me. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. So next we are waiting session. The presentations are fully geared with energy and stay online for presenting their research contribution in this time. I invite Ms. Nair Rita Sivasankaran to give a presentation on sustainable agriculture and pandemic, a case study of India. The presenters are requested to present within 10 minutes. Madam, Nair Rita Sivasankaran is present.
No. So you can invite other. Dr. Naglata, you can invite other presenters. She's not available tonight.
Okay. Madam, I invite Ms. Varshini V to give a presentation on collaborative filtering for movie recommender system.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, Varshini, we could hear you. Madam, will you please restrict your presentation for 10 minutes?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good day to everybody. So this is Vishni from Stella Maris College, here to present about the topic collaborative filtering for movies and recommender system. So basically, why this recommender system? Why this topic? Because the information that has been overloaded currently is accumulated more and more, and which just by second, the information that has been that has been collected is more. So it'll be it'll be very nice if there is a system that helps us in recommending items or suggesting items that will interest us more. So let me start up with what a recommender system is. So basically, a recommender system is an information filtering or data filtering system that will predict the rating for a particular item for a particular user. So this item can be of anything. It can be a book, it can be music, it can be a movie, it can be any be it e-commerce, shopping, or anything. So you need to something called as recommending items for you, because as it saves time for you, and it'll be easy for you if there is an option already available for you to view or listen to something. So that is what is recommender system. So recommender system is basically of three types, which is collaborative filtering, content based filtering, and hybrid based filtering. So among these three methods, collaborative filtering is most commonly used, most widely used. This is because it produces accurate results, and also it provides more interaction among the users, which is very much important in building building a system called as recommender system. We'll move into detail about these three methods in the upcoming slides. The first one is content-based filtering. So content-based filtering mainly focuses on the user's characteristics or user profiles. For example, let me bring up Netflix, which is an OTT platform to watch movies. So if you have to watch movie, first you have to create a profile for yourself. For example, you have to give your name, your age, uh, whatever the genre that you prefer to watch mostly, and what languages that you prefer to watch. So that must be given prior, so such that you will be categorized into a particular group, and then the movies will be suggested to you according to that particular group. For example, if you are a female and you're 20 years old, so you'll be categorized into that particular group, and the movies that is popular among that group will be suggested to you. This is what is content based filtering. Content based filtering is done of two types, which is keyword based and recommended based on semantics. Keyword based, as I said, you have to select in Netflix, you have to select the genres that you wanted to watch priorly, so that this keyword is matched with the movies that is already present. So for example, if you have selected you like comedy movies, romance movies, so this keyword is matched to the movies that is already present, so only those kind of movies are recommended to you. And recommendation based on semantics is basically it'll match the context of the characteristics that you're that you've mentioned in your profile. So what is the real meaning behind you giving this particular content in your profile? So that is what is content based filtering. Next is collaborative based filtering. This mainly focuses on the user preferences and user behaviors. So for example, what interactions and how we have interacted in the past with the items that is already presented before you. So it will mainly focus on that. So for example, if you've already watched a lot of comedy movies, action movies, so you will be repeatedly recommended movies that is similar to comedy or action movies. So that is what is collaborative filtering. Collaborative filtering is mainly categorized into two, which is memory based and model based. So model based method is it creates a model with a particular information that has been provided about the particular user to you. So only the important characteristics of the particular user is being chosen, and accordingly, based on the characteristics, you will be recommended items according to the characteristics that is being obtained. Next is memory based. Memory based is basically, it is also called as neighborhood based method. This is because it will relate between two users. For example, a user will be similar to another user. So between these two users, they'll find the similarities between them, and accordingly, the movies will be suggested between these similar users. So memory base, it is actually of two types, which is user and item. So where in user basically two users are considered, and then similarity between them is identified, and the items are suggested accordingly. Whereas item only considers the item. For example, as I said, let us consider the genre of the movies as the item here. So movie is the item, genre is the attribute that has been chosen. So if I watch action movies, if the other person also watches action movies, so that particular item only will be suggested to the particular user. So this is what is collaborative filtering. And the finally, which is hybrid filtering. Hybrid filtering is basically a combination of two or more strategies of providing the recommendation system. So basically, previously we have discussed about memory-based and model-based methods. So hybrid-based filtering is basically built upon the advantages or what are the strong field in the memory-based and model-based methods. So accordingly, a model is created and you will be suggested items in that way. And next, we look into what a movie recommender system is. So basically, movie is considered as one of the primary source of entertainment. So for the past these 2 years that has been through pandemic, we are sitting at home, so movies are the only source of entertainment that we had to pass our time. So however, it can be really difficult for us to choose appropriate and suitable content to watch, because there are lots of movies that has been available for us. So there must be a system that helps us to recommend the movies that helps us to watch and stress without consuming a lot of time. So first, I have discussed 3 methods that helps us in creating movie recommender system. So first one is the neural networks combined with collaborative filtering. So basically, neural networks is actually how our brain system performs. So that's just a replica of how our human brain works. So that is combined with the collaborative filtering, and we are recommended movies accordingly. So first, for example, the nearest neighbors, as I previously explained, you'll be identified similar uses, that is neighbor uses, and you'll based on that, high rated movies will be suggested. So when we group these neighbor users together, so the movies that is top rated among these bunch of users will be recommended to the intended user. So that is what is done in this particular method. Next one is collaborative filtering, item based approach along with cosine similarity. So basically, as I said, item based approach, it identifies the similarity between the 2 items, and this uses KNN algorithm, which is K nearest neighbor. That is item which is most similar or most relatable to the particular item. So that is a KNN algorithm. And cosine similarity is where you find the distance between one particular movie with another movie. So more the distance, more similar the movies are. So basically, if using this KNN algorithm, we identify what are the similar movies that is available, and then with the movies that we've already watched. For example, if I watch this particular movie X, and I would find the distance of this X with the other movies that is present at the hand. So the distance is calculated. Cosine similarity is the distance between this particular movie and the movie that is recommended for me. So the more the distance, if the distance between the X and the Y movie is 0, then there is no similarity between the 2 movies. If between X and this Y movie is more, it is actually 1, then it is more similar, and then this movie will be recommended to the user. This is what is in this method suggests. Next method suggests is singular value decomposition and cosine similarity. So singular value decomposition is a method where it will reduce the number of dimensions that is present in the data set. For example, there can be a lot of data sets that is available for us. In the data set, a lot of attributes can be present, but not all of them can be required to build a model. So this singular value decomposition helps us in reducing and identifying what are the principal the components that can be required in building a model. So basically, this helps us to find the feature that is more important and identify, and we'll be able to identify that particular feature, and we'll be able to recommend items based on that. So as I said, a singular value decomposition helps us to identify this particular feature. So for example, let the rating be the feature. So what is the rating that this particular user has given to this particular movie? So be it this movie, this comedy movie. So if this person has given more rating for this particular movie, so we'll look more into what this user might have liked in this movie. For example, it can be this actor or the director. So based on that, and distance between these two movies, I mean the movies that the user has already watched, similarly we'll find this distance between these two movies, and the more the distance, the more similar the movies are. So that the movie that has not already been watched by this user will be provided to the will be recommended to this user. And finally, my conclusion is that, as I said, everything is now revolving around technology, and as the data keeps increasing, and it can be really challenging for us to identify the appropriate and reliable option for us to choose the right option. And as everything is now through online e-commerce, marketing, movies, books, everything is through online. So the recommender system is one of the useful system that can be helps us to save time and also enjoy the process through whatever we do. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Varshini. Of course, the pandemic period have created a real impact on YouTube viewers and movie watchers. So I guess this recommendation is very important of screening what we see. Can I invite, ma'am? Can I invite Rita?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Nagalata, you can invite her.
Okay. So next, we have another presenter. I invite Miss Nair Rita Sivasankaran to give a presentation on sustainable agriculture and pandemic, a case study of India.
Hello. Hello.
Rita, we can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Nayar Rita Sivasankaran, today going to present a small article on sustainable agriculture and pandemic, a case study of India. The main focus of this article is on maintaining sustainable agriculture to tackle the unexpected situation like pandemic in future. Sustainability in agriculture is at most important for developing overpopulated country like India. Since large number of population remain starved and deprived of nutritious food due to lack of income during unexpected pandemic like situation. Sustainable agriculture must be the important agriculture practice for achieving the target of zero hunger. The review intends to go through every possible impact on COVID-19 on food and agriculture across India. Scientific technologies must be invented in agriculture with affordable price, focusing on small and marginal farmers. Both private sector along with government should work together to build technological advanced agriculture sector. Since India is a country with large-scale marginal farmers who are badly hit during such pandemic, focus should be on tackling the difficulties of these poor farmers. Emphasis should be given to development of agricultural technology, and hence research in this field must be focused. The aim of such research must not only to generate food but also give deeper care to environment resources. India is agricultural oriented country. Nearly 75% of our population still depends on agriculture for their livelihood. The primary products dominates the export of our country. Agriculture also plays an important role in meeting the food requirement of the growing population of our country. The lockdown to curb the spread of COVID-19 halted Indian agriculture sector. In India, agriculture contributes to 16 to 17% of GDP. India hosts nearly one-fourth of the world's farmers and possesses 48% of the world's arable land. Compared to agriculture in Western countries, our agriculture still depends on old pattern. The condition of the farmers in our country is still backward. Most of the farmers are illiterate and on the verge of poverty. They don't have any proper access to modern technology. Inequalities in income and land. These are the two types of farmers existing in our agricultural system, rich and poor. Poor farmers are also called marginal farmers. Marginal farmers are the farmers with less than 1 acre of land. The various policies implemented by the government are completely exploited by the rich farmers and poor are deprived of it. Lack of proper marketing facilities. Many farmers are deprived of proper marketing facilities. As a result, they are forced to sell their products at lower price. Lack of storage facilities also become hindrance to poor farmers, especially during pandemic-like situation. Many farmers were forced to throw out their perishable products during lockdown due to lack of storage facilities via poor demand for their products. Lack of proper incentives and knowledge of multi-farming system like sericulture, pisciculture, viticulture, horticulture, which provides them with additional income and nutritious food and thus helps them to survive under such pandemic conditions, is also one of the reasons for the lack of sustainability in Indian agriculture. Poor implementation of cooperative farming system, where scattered agriculture land holdings are brought together, retaining the ownership. When all the small land holdings are brought together, it becomes easy to adopt various technologies and yield will be much better compared to the previous. In such type of cooperative farming system, farmers can even survive the unexpected pandemic-like situation, since the economical real benefit is so high in such a big size farms compared to small land holdings. Impact of COVID-19 on food and agriculture. Due to inner migrant of laborers during lockdown, many farmers were forced to delay their harvesting, which forced them to burn their stubble during harsh weather conditions, which further enhanced pollution in northern states. Compared to previous year, the pollution level in Delhi is higher due to these delayed policies owing to pandemic. Since exports and imports were closed during lockdown, the global agricultural prices fell down. Labor shortage was another problem faced by agriculture sector due to inner migration of laborers. Demand for certain agriculture products during pandemic resulted in tightening of supply chain. Green technology must be encouraged for sustainable agriculture. The lack of income, employment, interlinked food due to this pandemic has exacerbated destitution and food fragility at the worldwide level. The technological innovation in agriculture has led to the excessive use of chemical fertilizers and emission of greenhouse gases. This has become a disaster to sustainability of agriculture. Green technology is a broad term of innovative ways to make our agriculture environment friendly and sustainable. It is meant as an alternative source of energy that reduces fossil fuel and causes less damage to human, animal, plant health and nature. Due to sudden lockdown due to COVID-19, many poor and vulnerable people were deprived of nutritious food and this resulted hike in death rate. Since these poor people were prone to pandemic, government took initiative steps to protect them from the pandemic by providing subsidized and free food through PDS system. The government also transferred direct cash to the accounts of these vulnerable people from unorganized sector who lost their job and income owing to pandemic. All these sudden protective measures taken by the government assisted the vulnerable to survive and overcome the pandemic. The data shows the percentage of poor laborers in different states who received direct assistance of the government in the form of cash and subsidies during pandemic. Percentage of household who received relief in June, data sourced from survey. Due to lockdown, many agriculture products lost its market and all the perishable goods were completely destroyed by the farmers due to lack of storage and marketing facilities. There was a sharp dip in the export of various agricultural products. Since the demand for these perishable agricultural products declined in foreign countries as well as in domestic business like hotels, restaurants, and catering, the sharp decline in exports is represented in the following graph. When these migrant workers returned back to their home, they found themselves very difficult to survive due to the lack of land and skills of doing agriculture. Many of them were forced to starve, borrow money from others. They found it difficult to pay back their loans. From the survey conducted, it has been found that nearly 39% of vulnerable section, suggesting that the lockdown has affected them seriously. Results from IGDIR Farmer Survey 2020. The survey was conducted by telephone and covered 370 farmers in 9 states. Lockdown has affected them very badly. 39% household member lost his or her job is approximately 23.50%. Had to borrow food, rely on others for food or skip a meal at least once in the past 1 week is approximately 23% face this problem. Getting food in adequate quantity and variety in the village, approximately 40.70% face this problem, and finding work 70.50%. The Union Budget 2018-19 announced the MSP will be given 1.5 times of the cost of production. As a result, MSP for Kharif and Rabi crops hiked for 2020-21 season. The government announced increase in MSP from 1st June 2020. Certain crops like sesame, urad, cotton experienced highest increase in MSP. For certain crops like bajra, maize, that expected returns of farmers over their cost of production is very high. Minimum support price for Rabi crops. On September 2020, government has announced minimum support price for crops like lentil, gram, mustard experience high increase in MSP. The expected returns of farmers over their cost of production are estimated to be the highest in the case of wheat, followed by mustard, gram, and lentil. Livestock sector is the important sector of Indian economy. The contribution of livestock sector in the total agriculture has increased from 24.32% in 2014-15 to 63% in 2018 and 19. Overall, the contribution of livestock is estimated to 4.2% in 2018 and 19. India is one of the leading producers of milk in the world. Several measures adopted by the government had resulted in increase in milk production. The below figure shows the trend of milk production in India in million tons. Due to pandemic, there was a sharp decline in the arrival of various food items in registered markets. This may be due to many reasons, that is consumption of food by the farmers to survive the pandemic, non-availability of storage facilities, forced the farmers to throw away many of their food crops. The procurement policies introduced by the government also restricted the flow of food grains in the market. This sharp decline in food grains in the registered market is mentioned below with the graph. Objectives of the study. Keeping in view the above facts, the main objectives of the study are to find out the difficulties faced by agriculture sector in India during pandemic, to have a deep analysis on each problem faced by agriculture sector, and to suggest solution to make our agriculture sustainable and self-sustainable. It has been conducted that sustainability of agriculture is very important in populated countries like India to survive the emergency pandemic-like situation and to meet the food requirement of growing population. Adoption of green technology to a large extent, retaining subsidies and marginal support price to the products, encouraging multi-farming system, encouraging joint sector cooperation, encouraging artificial intelligence in the field of agriculture, shifting of cultivation to nutritious crop rather than sticking to rice wheat cultivation, linking MSP and PDS with different types of nutritious crops, encouraging urban horticulture. Thank you.
Thank you, Naya Rita Sivashankaran. Your research has really given a good thought on agriculture, where the people are really suffering to find the demand and supply to be connected. So, really, it's a sensible learning. And now I invite Ms. R. Deepadarshini to give a presentation on object detection using convolutional neural network, a survey.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Deepadarshini. I'm from Stella Maris College. Robotics is an important field of research nowadays. We invented robots to ease out human work to perform tasks that could not be done by humans, or to use them in tasks that are dangerous to humans. As a mean to do human activities, it is important for them to have capabilities like us. It is very important to work on the vision of robots to make them as similar as humans' vision. This area of artificial intelligence is called computer vision. In robots, visual inputs are given as image or video. Understanding what that object is called object recognition, whereas where is that object is called finding the location, size, and position of the object in the input is called object detection. So object detection is used in various applications like vehicle tracking system, and then self-driving cars, and then surveillance cameras, and so on. The output of the object detection contains boundary boxes around the object with an aim and accuracy percentage. So, okay. Okay, we'll see the introduction. Initially, the object detection was done through three steps. The first step chooses the region of information. The second step extract the features from the data, and finally, the objects are classified. So, as the object detection process becomes complex with these steps, we use a deep learning approach called convolutional neural networks. This CNN has combined layers of convolutional network, which is a type of feed-forward neural network. So, we do train our model, but still that will be difficult for system to identify the object because the appearance of the object in the real world is not as similar as the image that we give to the system and we have trained it. So how does this CNN helps in object detection is it has four layers. The first one is convolutional layer that checks whether the features are identical to the input picture and gives a result matrix containing some values. So as the computer identifies everything with the means of ones, zeros, and values, so the object detection also works in the same way, that only takes numbers. So after this convolutional layer, we have a rectified linear unit, which is simply called as a ReLU layer, that obtains the non-linear aspects of the inputs by using mathematical activation function, which removes negative values and puts only maximum positive values. So by removing negative values in sense, the space are like removed. Next, by utilizing pooling layers, we move strides in the filtered image to shrink and decrease the quantity of pixels and aspects to minimize the complexity of the picture. Now we move on to the final layer called connected layer, like fully connected layer. Here we put the filtered image in a stack and compare that features with the input that we have given and the image that we have already trained. So based on that, the classification is done. So this is how CNN works. We face few problems in CNN like different aspect ratios and spatial locations. So so few improvements are made in various stages that resulted in different neural networks. In this presentation, we'll see how these neural networks work and what improvisation is made in each step to identify objects clearly. Okay. So before we start looking into this neural network techniques, it is important to speak about datasets that is used to train the object detection model. The three widely used datasets are ImageNet, Pascal Work, and Microsoft Coco. Based on the project we choose, we could also create our own datasets by collecting the features that we require. Okay, I'll just give a brief view on this data sets. ImageNet. ImageNet is a widely used data set as it contains 14 million images that is categorized into 21K classes approximately. And for 2 million images, the annotations are provided. Annotations is in sense, if I give an image of an apple, then it is like the name is also given. This is the image of apple. So that annotations are provided for 2 million images. This is a standard data set to perform algorithms of deep learning. Next is the Pascal walk. This dataset has a 15K annotated image with 20 categories. This dataset is smaller than ImageNet, but it is mostly used for small projects like classification, semantic segmentation, and detection of objects. So Microsoft Coco is the latest dataset sponsored by Microsoft team that has 30 lakh image approximately, which is categorized into 80 to 90 classes, and 2 lakh annotated pictures. Okay. So yes, we'll see to the first neural network, RCNN, region-based convolutional neural network, which works based on a selective search algorithm. This first proposes bounding box for all the objects in the image, and then it does feature extraction for each box. Instead of looking into all the boxes in the image, the boxes in the box contains some objects. Okay, so it combines overlaying small boxes to single bounding box because we don't have to consider the smallest things in the world. Like, so by giving threshold values, this is done by using greedy approach. So though it classifies images perfectly, it has drawbacks such as log loss, long waiting time, because of multi-stage training nature. Expensive time and space utilization was there. So to repair these drawbacks, spatial pyramid pooling networks, this is also attached with the RCNN. This computes multiple pooling layers and resulted in reduced training time and faster feature extraction. Okay. So though RCNN had few drawbacks, and those drawbacks were treated using SPP networks, SPP then spatial pyramid pooling networks, they still had disadvantages. To fix these drawbacks, a new method called RCNN was introduced by Ross Kirkish. The new improvement in this method is instead of generating rectangular boxes for all objects, it used selective search approach to generate particular region of interest, simply called ROI. This segmentation is done on the basis of pixels depth in a graph format. So when an image is given to a robot, based on the depth of the pixel, it takes only the particular region for analyzing. RCNN had 3-step process, but here we have only one model where the image is directly sent into networks. This fast RCNN has many advantages like high quality detection than previous method. It doesn't need more storage, disk, and those things. The test speed is 10 times faster, and the training speed is 3 times faster than RCNN with SPP. Okay, so next is the faster RCNN. We have seen like fast RCNN even achieves good feature extraction, but then it took time for proposing those regions of interest. That was not took into point. So Shavoking Rent and his team made a change in fast RCNN and proposed a new model called faster RCNN. So that introduced another deep CNN called region proposal network to get effective solution. So by introducing this RPN with the already existing network, the cost for computing region proposals were reduced. The first component in this architecture is RPN that produces rectangular boundaries, and then the fully connected layer, which is fed into 2 parallel layers, box regression and box classification layer. So box classification layer is used to classify the object, whether that belongs to fruit or vegetable, like that. And then box regression layer gives you pixel values where the box where that box should be drawn around the object. So this fast RCNN will be widely used for a period of time. Next is a mask RCNN. Yeah. So this is quite different in the way that it gives output, because the previous works has framed the boundary boxes around the object, but here this method identifies objects in an accurate way by masking the objects through pixel boundaries over the outline. So this is done by adding another layer called mask layer that is put in each ROI, like region of interest. When you take region of interest, even in that layer itself will start masking in fully connected layer. So mask layer is different from other layers because the pixel extraction should be thinner spatial layout of the object. So beside classification layer and bounding box layer, the output also gives a binary mask for which every region of interest, and after extracting features, a standard activity called ROI align. Which progresses a quantization of ROI pool to properly align the optimal features of the input, because it identifies the object through the object's outline. So this should be done more carefully. Okay. Yeah. Next is CNN with SVM. This is used mostly for classification purpose. There is another mechanism called support vector meshing that is used with CNN to classify the features. This method has two types: linear separable and non-linear separable. Here, there is an hyperplane is a kind of line that is drawn between points that you wish to classify. So from these hyperplane, two parallel lines are extended, and those lines are called margins. When a margin touches the first point, then that point is known as nearest positive point, and on the other end, the margin touches the next point is called positive negative nearest negative point. So this is how the classification will be done. This might be used, for example, when you want your system to identify traffic signals. Like traffic signals board are sometimes in round shape, that is circle shape, and sometimes in triangle shape. So you wanted to classify either to classify them in a circle or triangle, or we can use this kind of classification things where you want to classify only two sectors. Okay, next is the YOLO. Yeah, this is very important, and this is the latest technique that is used. You look only once. This is what abbreviation is. This is the widely used now like present thing for detecting objects. We write this using Python language. This method is used in real-time object detection, and is an open source tool, so anyone could do this. This accomplishes object detection through fixed grid regression based on the class probability mapping. It gives the final decisions. Detections. The advantage includes this fast and gives real-time accuracy, because you use object detection in an car. So when it moves, it has to identify objects, right? So it has few limitations, like strong spatial constraints. That is, it identifies even small objects and large objects. Everything is identified. Then at the same way, it is not like generalized, because the errors are not treated in the same way. Like small bounding box or large bounding box, anyway the errors are treated as in the similar way. So YOLO has various versions, and it is still working on it. Okay. So next, I would like to conclude by telling there are various deep learning procedures available to detect the object. In this paper, I have discussed various techniques of CNN. So the learning matter of content over here is, though base methods could detect the objects, we move on to one-stage detectors to decrease the complexity and increase the space and accuracy. So I conclude by telling there is no end to make innovations and make changes to create new techniques. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Deepadarshini ma'am. The paper was highly technical, and we wish to have present more on this same robotic. Now I invite Ms. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Now I invite Ms. Shalini Mary. A survey. Her presentation is on the survey on security and privacy in big data analysis. I request Ms. Shalini. Shalini, you're audible. Will you please on your video, and you can share your presentation both. Both can be possible.
Currently, my camera isn't working.
Okay, ma'am. You can share your presentation, and you can give your presentation.
Is my screen visible, ma'am? My presentation?
Yeah, ma'am. We can see you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, good evening, everybody. I'm Shalini. I'm currently pursuing Masters in Information Technology from Stella Maris College. So, now I'll be presenting about a survey on big data, security, and privacy. So, being in a digitalized era, living without technology is impossible. Due to the vast usage of computing devices like phones, laptops, computers, gadgets, and social media, search engines, blogs, websites generate enormous amounts of data. Thus, data is considered to be everything in today's world. The data extracted helps industries and decision makers to extract valuable information, but results in security and privacy issues. So, though we have upgraded and improved implementations to process the big data, Due to the lack of authentication and authorization, and insecure network interfaces and software put electronic data at risk. So big data is nothing but large amounts of data sourced out from various sources. The collected information can be classified into structured and unstructured data, in which only 20% is structured data and 80% is unstructured data. And security becomes a big challenge for big data since it contains more of personal and confidential data. So, insecure cloud, mobile network services, insecure software, insufficient authentication, authorization are considered to be major concerns that result in security issues with big data storage, generation of fake data, data poisoning, and theft, etc. By improving authentication methods, file encryption methods, access control, key management, secure communication, we can protect big data and avoid security violations. And algorithms such as advanced encryption algorithm, lightweighted encryption algorithm helps in protecting electronic data and provides more security. So, big data is a way of analyzing and extracting information systematically from large and complex data sets. It has five significant properties. The first one is volume, which deals with huge amounts of data. The next is velocity, which is high speed of accumulation of data. Next is variety, which is different formats of data from various resources. Variability, which is inconsistencies and uncertainty in data. Next is value, which is useful data which is extracted from the data sets. So various sources of data contribute to gathering these large amounts of data. And while this data has a lot of advantages, people also face a lot of privacy and security issues. So now let's discuss about data security requirements. There are three properties to be considered to ensure data security, which are data confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The confidentiality of data refers to it being protected from unauthorized access. Integrity protects data from unauthorized modification and ensures that it's free from errors, up to date, and originating from reputable sources. The availability of data ensures that only authorized users can access them, and privacy has also become a critical requirement in addition to these three properties. Increasing data collection and data sharing has resulted in increasingly sophisticated data attacks. For example, internet companies gather a lot of personal data. So it is important for them to have reliable and secure data storage and analysis, strict operational supervision, secure protection standards, appropriate laws and regulations, and industry norms to protect user privacy. Next, moving on to the issues faced to protect big data security and privacy. The lack of monitoring and tracking makes both private and public databases equally vulnerable to data theft. Data that is not encrypted when it is being stored makes it easier for hackers to access the data. Furthermore, storing data in the presence of unauthorized people, not using secure tools and techniques to store big data or protect big data, and collection of data set and copying it with pen drive or storing them in common devices also lead to hacking of data. So the security requirements vary for different fields, like from data collection, data mining, data refinement, and so on. So in this chain, data can be lost, leaked, authorized, and even involve user privacy and corporate secrets. So with respect to significant properties of big data, it also brings issues that go along with it. First one is big data volume driven issue. For example, such a big volume of data in a data center or cloud platform is a treasure for cyber criminals when information and confidential data are intercepted or disclosed properly. Next is a big volume velocity driven issue. Since big data analytics collect, store, reuse, analyze, create profiles, and visualize, it increases the physical security risks for individuals as they can be tracked. and big veracity driven issues where it intensifies the information asymmetry between individuals and companies, where obviously individuals in a put individuals in a more disadvantaged position and create vulnerabilities with their privacy and security. Next is the big variety driven issue where it deals with high profile data breaches associated with card details, personal data, and so on. So, big varieties of personal information makes it difficult to detect the security breaches. And next is cloud data security and privacy. The problem here is that the lack of security initiatives by cloud service providers. So the challenges that need to be resolved considering the above stated data security requirements and issues are big data user privacy protection, easy attack on big data lifecycle changes, trust security issues in big data, core infrastructure security, server security, network security, data confidentiality, and privacy. So some of the tools and techniques that can be used to protect big data are the first one is cryptography, which is the practice of preserving data, information, and communications in coded language that can be understood only by the data producer and the user. The next is cloud information security, which is the process of encrypting and maintaining enterprise data in the cloud. Data discovery. As a result of scanning data repositories, we can identify compliance issues, analyze storage optimization, archiving, and data governance, and implement safety measures. So next is consent subject rights management. A company should ensure that the information it stores in its database is consented to the customers, employees, or any individual for that matter. And tokenization, which is the process of using tokens to replace sensitive data such as social security numbers, credit card numbers, and bank account numbers. The last one is access control systems. Security techniques like access control system are used in computing environments to regulate who can access data resources. By limiting who can access data resources, the company is obviously less likely to be attacked by external forces. The next one is big data security and privacy in cloud services, which deals with base security, logical security, value added security, and governance, risk, and compliance. And the last one is HDFS security approaches, which is to ensure the security in Hadoop distributed file system. So, to conclude with, a firm's most valuable asset is its information. So, its security is of utmost importance. No matter what the size of the data set, the need for data security, protection of private information, and data quality must be met. However, big data set characteristics, including its volume, variety, velocity, veracity, and value, create new types of risks that need to be addressed. So data can be protected using techniques such as confidentiality, integrity, availability, and authentication. Furthermore, information can be stored using techniques like cryptography, tokenization, and application level encryption. So, in the light of current security and privacy issues that we are facing, more research needs to be done considering the issues that we are currently facing in the present and the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Shalini, Mary ma'am. It was a wonderful presentation about the big data information. We'll move to the final session, end of the day. Gratitude is a quality similar to electricity. It must be produced and discharged and used up in order to exist. For this, I invite Dr. S. Sasikala, Associate Professor of Computer Science, Institute of Distance Education, Head in charge of Center of Web-Based Learning, University of Madras, Chepauk, Chennai, India. Before inviting Madam, I would like to give a brief introduction about Madam. Madam is guiding PhD scholars in the area of medical image mining using machine learning and big data analysis, serving as a doctoral committee member and external examiner for the PhD and PhD thesis evaluation international journals, which has been listed in UGC Catalyst and Scopus peer review journals. Professor is an actively taking part in editorial board member and reviewer of many papers for international and national conference. Madam, as acting as a coordinator in data structure MOOC course floated through SWAYAM. With this short note, I am inviting Madam Sasikala to render a vote of thanks to end the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. S. Nagalata ma'am, for introducing me. Warm welcome to me. And welcome you all for this second international conference on research outlook, innovations and research trends 2022. See, I would like, see, as Nagalata ma'am said, his gratitude is more energized for every program. See, I would like to thank, first of all, Priyanka ma'am for wonderful organizing systematically. How wonderful this online program is, very, very systematically and scheduled manner. They have going on from morning onwards. I am watching every moment is scheduled as per the schedule. It's going on. So I am very much appreciate to you, ma'am, and I would like to give an opportunity. I would very much pleasure to be a part of this second international conference from our university, Department of Computer Science, Institute of Certification. See, I would like. He gave Dr. S.C. Enkelada Lulaj for finance and accounting, Faculty of Management in Tourism, Hospitality and Environment, University sector, the state of Kosovo. So her topic is also and her research experience also. The topic what she has taken is very apt to this situation. She cleanly expressed the ETL tools and the students how financially affected, how the financial stress they have during this COVID-19 pandemic time. She enhanced the e-learning projects and experience and his research experience, and she was excellent descriptor in method of teaching by improving the content preparation, including the graphics. That and all very important role in that. Because of that, I am in a web-based learning department. So we are coordinating many more. nowadays there are so many tools are available. With the use of that tools, that is a LMS, as she mentioned, LMS tools are very much useful for us, like Moodle. There are Moodle is very, very efficient and open source tool for content presentation, everything. And she also mentioned analytical tools, many analytical tools, and study experience through online learning. How we have to be correlate between the financial impact with the teaching of teachers as well as students, and impact of parents during this pandemic time. So very much informative for this time, timely concept for this period. And also, I would like to thank the presenters also giving informative informations by Rita Shivashankaran, so by giving how the agriculture is very, very important, how you have to be improve their demand, and how we can improve their upliftment of their wealth of farmers, everything she mentioned very elaborately. And Virshini also giving a movie recommendation system. She is very important things with then and there, every moment we are using, we are can't able to be think and take a decision. We don't have a time to take a decision. Because of that, we are searching for the recommendation system. The recommendation system itself give the suggestions for us, and according to that, we are going for online shopping, online booking, by selecting the etc., etc. Isn't it? So, and second thing is Deepa Darshini also giving the object deduction using convolution neural network. See, the object deduction using object deduction is always working in many current field, that as I said, vehicle tracking systems, in traffic system, and also in medical field is very much useful in that object detection system is using, because your robotics itself doing operations and assisting the doctors every moment nowadays. So in ophthalmology uh, field, in medical. Hello, ma'am, is it audible? Okay. See,
Now it is
yeah,
audible, ma'am.
still now it's not audible.
No, it is audible. You can speak.
Okay, okay. Okay. See, object detection is employed in many medical field, many of the application in medical field. So that is very useful to current scenario, trends in scenario. And second thing is, and final one, Shalini also is mentioned about the big data. See, everyone may hear about the big data. Every moment, every individuals are generating the data, isn't it? See, by using WhatsApps, emails, each and individual, so many accounts we are having. WhatsApp account, email account, LinkedIn account, Facebook account, Twitter account, etc., etc. So many accounts we are having. We are sharing information and forwarding informations like objects, videos, we text, whatever we have as a we like, isn't it? So how we are in as an individual generating this much of data means by using sensors, satellites, how it will be managed, the volume of data, how we manage it, we couldn't able to manage with the traditional database system. That's why we go for big data processing. Big data process, how we can process, we can manage the data. Okay, how we can secure them and as well as we can manage them. So how we can secure it? By using CWS, that is cloud space, cloud, that is AWS, whatever it may be, Amazon Web Service, or whatever, Azure, Microsoft Azure. So by using cloud we are keeping the volume of data. See, not only the volume of data, the big data, as he said, the different structure, say that is structured one as well as semi-structured one unstructured one. So different, because content having images, text and audio, video, whatever we have. So it should be in unstructured one. And variety and velocity. What about the velocity, the speed, the generating of data from the Facebook on Twitter? Moment by moment, the informations are generating for processing. So the velocity of data, you should manage it. Streaming of data, you should manage it. How you can manage this type of data? And it should be in trustworthy also. That is the value, and also that is the variety, veracity. And another one is the value of the data. Value. So what data we have, you should process. Once you have processed it, it should be in value to the society, isn't it so? So how we can process it? So how we can keep it and how we can process it? By keeping the data in cloud space, how we can process it? By machine learning algorithms and deep learning algorithms. See, machine learning algorithms are, it is a model which can learn, process and give a results for that with the experience. See, in normal processing is different from machine learning process. Machine learning process is that is processed with the use of past experience. Then only with the use of past experience, it train the past data and give the result for the current data, isn't it? See, when you go for faster and deeper in deep knowledge in that, we go for the deep learning. If a deep learning, as you say, as they have discussed, convolution neural network, recurrent convolution neural network, faster recurrent neural network. So these are all the different, that is artificial AI systems. Artificial neural network, what's behind in that? See, artificial intelligence, as we say, as we know, see, it is imitate the human brains. So how you can process that one individually? So with the use of these deep learning techniques, the machine learning techniques, make it into the machine into a man. How we can act. So on this way we will proceed processing the data and giving the results. From that, reinforcement learning is also there. So in see, these are all not able to some constrained one. This is not a fixed steps we want to process in that. So then and there depends upon the environmental change. We need to change our process and giving the result. So likewise, so many technologies are emerging then and there. Along with that, we should adapt with that. So even though is it in the pandemic period, with the use of this e-learning or online learning, we go ahead with this type of international conferences. This is very effective, and this the objective of this international conference to sharing the knowledge of current trends and innovations on research. So each and every, as a computer science faculties and students, as a different, don't you think of that we are using gadgets, whatever gadgets recently available, and buying and using. So how they are working, we should think of that. What algorithm is behind in that working plan with that. So everything we should analyze it with the you through the research. By research, how it will be coming. The motivation comes by attending this type of uh, international and national conferences. See, this international conference will achieve, I hope, achieve the objectives of faculties and students of this participants from various institutions and universities and various countries also. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and I am very thankful for be a part of this international conference 2022. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, giving a nice overview of the entire show. Thank you for this. This is the end of the day. I thank all the participants of taking actively part in this conference and making the event the day one success. This is A.S. Naglata, Associate Professor from Sri Kanaka Parameshwari College, Arts and Science from Chennai, signing out for the day. Thank you.